Welcome to The Explainer. So let's be real for a second. If your workday is constantly bogged down by just endless office busy work, repetitive tasks, and that dreaded inbox zero anxiety, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're taking a radically objective look at a really buzzy platform called Lindy AI. We're going to tear down the hype and evaluate if this AI agent builder can actually help you reclaim your absolute most valuable asset, your time. Here is our roadmap for today's teardown, so you know exactly where we're headed. We'll start with the broader AI agent revolution, dive into how Lindy AI works, check out some real-world AI automations, do an objective rundown of pricing, pros and cons, and finally, look at the top alternatives out there. Okay, let's dive right into this. The AI agent revolution, beyond basic automation. Before we look at Lindy specifically, we kind of need to understand the massive fundamental shift happening in software right now. You might have heard the term agentic AI. It's basically a highly sophisticated form of artificial intelligence that uses large language models to act autonomously, making context-aware decisions across multiple steps and entirely different systems. Think of it less like a rigid spreadsheet calculator and much more like a digital intern that can actually reason its way through a complex problem. It's a huge difference. See, traditional automation tools, they're basically like a train on a track. They follow rigid, preset rules. If step A happens, do step B. But if anything unexpected pops up, boom, it breaks. Agentic automation, though, which is what powers platforms like Lindy AI, is entirely different. It uses natural language reasoning. It's much more like an off-road vehicle. It understands context, it adapts to roadblocks, and it figures out the best path to the finish line entirely on its own. And because of this massive, game-changing upgrade in capability, the business world is definitely paying attention. Get this. According to projections from Gartner highlighted in our sources, the adoption of AI agents is expected to surge from just 1% in 2024 to a massive 33% by 2028. We're talking about a fundamental shift here in how human workflows are managed.
Moving along to how Lindy AI works, building your autonomous workforce.
So how do you actually build one of these things if you're not a programmer? Well, Lindy AI is built entirely around a no-code, point-and-click interface. Anyone can use it. You set up custom triggers, sure, but here is where the magic really happens. You configure them using just plain natural language prompts. You just type what you want. You can also connect these agents to your own external knowledge bases, so they give informed company-specific answers. And crucially, there's a human-in-the-loop escalation feature. Basically, if the AI agent hits a wall and a task fails, it just automatically tags you in to take over. Now, you know, an AI agent is really only as good as the tools it can actually access, right? Well, as of 2025, Lindy AI integrates with 234 popular business apps. That's Gmail, Slack, HubSpot, Salesforce, the whole shebang. This enables a huge chain of interconnected actions, where a simple email in one app can trigger a highly complex, reasoning-based research task in a completely different one. Let's move to real-world AI automations, putting Lindy to work. To make this abstract concept super tangible, let's walk through a real-world use case from our sources, the podcast Prep Alert agent. First, the agent autonomously checks your calendar for upcoming podcast interviews. Second, it literally jumps online and researches the guest using their LinkedIn profile. Third, it reviews your previous email history with that guest just to establish context. And finally, it drafts and sends you a comprehensive prep email right before the meeting. It executes this entire multi-step research task on its own, without you lifting a single finger. Here's another incredibly practical story from the source text, a daily information digest. This automation starts by actively searching Reddit forums for discussions on new AI tools. Then, it uses its reasoning capabilities to compile a list of the most popular daily topics. Finally, it automatically updates Essential document with this digested research. It's like having a tireless research assistant pulling the signal from the noise so you don't have to waste time endlessly scrolling. All right, time for pricing, pros, and cons, an objective evaluation. Look, to be totally objective here, we have to balance the hype with reality. On the pro side, that natural language UI is a major win. The platform is incredibly versatile with those 234 integrations. It features true AI reasoning, and, hey, it has a free entry tier. But we absolutely have to look at the cons. While it's no code, building complex automations still requires considerable mapping and effort on your part. Also, performance can be kind of inconsistent depending on the task. Plus, credit consumption happens really fast when the AI is doing heavy lifting, and standard pro users don't even get priority support. And honestly, this exact sentiment is echoed across user reviews on places like Capterra and Reddit. Users are noting that Lindy is powerful for time-wasting workflows, absolutely, but it's expensive and performance isn't always consistent for complex information retrieval. As an objective explainer, we have to look at both sides. Lindy is highly capable for specific workflows, for sure, but it is not a flawless magic bullet for every single data challenge out there. And then there's the cost. Sure, there's a starter tier for around $20 a month for basic individual use. But actually, if you want priority support and the unlimited credits you need for heavy, team-wide organizational use, the business plan jumps to almost $300 a month. That fast credit consumption we mentioned earlier, yeah, it means power users are going to outgrow those cheaper tiers incredibly quickly. Which brings us to top alternatives to Lindy, exploring the broader market. Because Lindy isn't the only option out there. It's great for broad multi-app custom agents, and its pro tier sits at about $50 a month. But what if your workflows are a bit more specialized? Like if your team practically lives in Gmail, a tool like Gamelius, starting at around $36 a month, might actually be a better fit. It focuses entirely on shared inboxes and specialized email agents. On the flip side, if your biggest pain point is schedule management, Motion AI excels at all-in-one projects, tasks, and calendar automation for just $19 a month. Ultimately, it's all about matching the specific tool to your actual daily bottlenecks. So, this brings us to a final provocative thought to leave you with. If an AI agent can reason, research, and execute tasks autonomously, what percentage of your current daily workload are you ready to hand over today? The AI agent revolution is no longer science fiction, folks. It's actively reshaping the modern office, and tools like Lindy are literally just the beginning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, stay focused and keep learning.